1 week in Poland. News, comments, events, everything you need to know about the country you live in. Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to a new episode of 1 Week in Poland. It's Saturday, March 23rd. We officially entered into the spring, and this is the broadcast by IMI Radio that will tell you all it is necessary to know about what's going on in the country. My name is Fabio Turco. I am a journalist. In the first part of the broadcast, as usual, we'll focus about the general news, what's relevant happened in the last 7 days in Poland, while in the second part we'll focus more on the news and the events that we'll have in the weekend in Warsaw. So if you are ready, as usual, I know you're ready, let's go. The first news of today is something about I already talked to you in the past episodes, not in the last one, but in the previous one I did, is the protest of the Polish farmers, because on March 20, around 70,000 farmers in all Poland protested. This was so far the biggest and most participated protest since the beginning of the rallies. Probably you know, or if you don't know, I will tell you. The Polish farmers were the first one in Europe to start to protest at the beginning of 2023. This time, almost 600 roadblocks across Poland paralyzed the country. This time with the exception of Warsaw. You remember that the disruptions in Warsaw on March 6 and February 27. So this time the capital city was spared from the protest. This protest focused on major access roads to provincial cities and expressways, with many farmers starting their demonstrations in the morning and ending in the evening. So there was very hot day in all Poland, but March 20 was also important for some news that we got related to the same topic, more political news, we can say, because in Brussels an agreement was reached on the matter of the extension of custom duties on agricultural products imported from Ukraine. This is a measure taken by the European Union after the Russian invasion 2 years ago to protect the Ukrainian economy against the Russian invasion in difficult time. So starting in June, this measure will be extended for an additional year. But this time, due to the critical situation of the farmers inside the European Union, because you know the fact that the increasing of agricultural products triggered the protest in many countries, Poland included. So this time a safeguard mechanism was introduced to limit the effects on the local market. So for this reason, the duty-free imports of eggs, poultry, sugar, oats, corn, and honey will be limited to the average of the imports in the year 2022 and 2023. Once this limit will be exceeded, also the duties will be reintroduced. So this was the decision, the agreement, the draft of the agreement reached in Brussels, but this agreement has not left everyone satisfied, as it is considered too timid. In fact, barley and wheat are left out, and we know that the wheat problem right now is crucial for European farmers and especially for Polish farmers. In addition, 2021, the year before the war, is not taken into account into the calculation of average imports. This was something that some countries were requiring because this would have lowered the average import significantly. For these reasons, the governments of Poland, France, and Italy temporarily blocked the discussion on this draft, and the ratification seems to be far right now. So negotiations are ongoing. We'll have for sure other updates in the next future. But there is also another news from the internal politics related to the topic of the products from Ukraine, because some farmer unions and the Polish government reached a deal to block the transit of the Ukrainian wheat through the Polish borders and limit the imports of some products such eggs, apples, and certain kind of fruits. Also, in this case, this agreement, this deal, needed to be ratified in this case, from the Prime Minister of Poland, Mr. Donald Tusk. We don't know yet what will be his decision, because blocking the transit of the Ukrainian wheat would be really a big move, an important move, and could draw criticism from the European Union on one side and trigger a clash with the Ukrainian government on the other side. So also in this case, I will keep you updated about what will be the decision. So this was so far the most important news of the week, but there are other more. Now changing his news about a statement made by the president of Poland, Andrzej Duda. It's quite worrying, we can say, because Mr. Duda raised the alarm for a possible military confrontation between Russia and NATO countries in the next years. Speaking in an interview with business and financial news broadcaster CNBC in US, President Duda renewed his appeal to NATO members to raise their military spending to 3% of GDP. His call came amid warnings that Russia could be preparing to target the Western military alliance within 2 to 3 years. We know this is a topic that we are funding in all Europe, in newspaper, the media, the public debate is discussing about this possibility that, of course, we hope not going to happen. Mr. Duda told CNBC journalist Seb Sedgwick that new evidence suggested Russian President Vladimir Putin was doubling down on his shift toward a war economy with a view to attacking NATO in 2026 or 2027. We have 2 or 3 years in which we can increase our efforts, stockpile ammunition, and produce weapons to maximize European security. Get ready and make sure the invasion does not happen, Mr. Duda said. All this needs to be done in order not to have to get involved in the fight. The point is to create such a deterrent that ensures we are not attacked. This was the statement of Mr. Duda, President of Poland, that followed the warning from General Wiesław Kukuła, Chief of the General Staff of the Polish Army, which came during a conference held by the Kazimierz Puławski Foundation in the days when it was commemorated the 25th anniversary of the Poland accessing to NATO. Mr. Kukuła highlighted the evolving threat from Russia, emphasizing the strategic adjustment and the preparation Moscow is undertaking in anticipation of potential hostility with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. NATO, we clearly see that changes happening in Russia and draw our conclusion. Russia is preparing for a conflict with NATO, knowing fully well that the alliance is a defensive structure, Mr. Kukua said. So, of course, this is kind of news I would prefer not to give you, because these are quite worrying, but as a broadcast reporting the most relevant statements and facts of the week, I have to, of course, as I said, we hope that these are only worrying and nothing bad happen in the future. Now we change topic. We are changing topic completely with another kind of news. This is something internal, because if you have kids, probably you know that starting from the next April, the compulsory graded homework in Polish primary schools will be abolished. This is a decision that was announced by Barbara Nowacka, the education minister, in January. There was a very, very hot discussion in the parliament in that days. She said at the time that children have an excess of things to learn, to memorize, also at home, at the expense of free time, at the expense of extracurricular activities, and at the expense of meeting friends. So this was the motivation of the move to abolish the compulsory homework. Now a report by Poland's Educational Research Institute, IBE, has confirmed in such way what Minister Nowacka said, noting that the greater amounts of homework are not associated with better learning outcomes. In fact, the report says is true. The opposite is true. But we have to be aware that IBE is an institution supervised by Education Ministry, so we can also think that there is quite a conflict of interest, but this report finds that the most Polish parents are satisfied anyway with the current amount of homework their children receive. While a separate survey of Polish parents shows that Polish parents and the teachers also indicates that the most don't support the complete abolition of homework. IBE analyzed existing research finding on homework with a particular focus on data from 3 international comparative studies: TIMSS, PIRLS, and PISA. The report noted that the international evidence shows that, in fact, the less time children spend on homework, the higher are the average skill levels. However, IBE also stated it is not possible to say what the cause-effect relationship is here. Another news I want to flag, this is again from Notes from Poland, the web magazine in English reporting what is going on in the country. I always suggest it. I suggest to follow. There are actually 2 news that can be interesting for people involved or related to the third sector. The first is a good news, actually, because the government has approved a bill granting additional payments to social care workers who often earn minimum wage. If approved, this bill will be approved by the parliament and, of course, by the president. The legislation will allow almost 200,000 people employed in the sector to receive an additional 1,000 zloty. It is around 230 euro gross each per month, starting from next July. For those on the minimum wage, that would boost their earnings by almost 25%. Well, this is a lot. Agnieszka Dziemianowicz-Bąk, the Minister for Family, Labor and Social Policy, released this statement: social workers perform a difficult job that requires specialized knowledge and competencies, and they do so on a daily basis with full dedication and must be rewarded accordingly. The measure will cover those working in the foster care and family support system, social care units such as social assistance center, crisis intervention center, and support center, as well as childcare facilities for children up to the age of 3, such as nurseries that are run by local governments. The proposed bill would provide also subsidies to local governments in order for them to make the extra payments to social care workers. Minister Agnieszka Dziemianowicz-Bąk estimates that around 190,000 people working in the sector would be covered. The second news about this topic is actually something about a hard job that the politics still has to do, because a group of disabled people and their carers have protested outside the parliament in the previous days, demanding that the government fulfill its pre-election promise to increase their welfare allowance to the level of the minimum wage. That currently it stands at less than half that figure. The increasing this topic, the increasing of the allowances for the caregivers and the social pension for the disabled people is something that it was also debated during the previous legislation. But it didn't bring any good news, any change, and that's why it was used by the former opposition, now ruling party, during the electoral campaign. The groups, so the protester, their main demand is that the so-called social pension, which is paid to people who are unable to work for health reason and currently stands at 1,781 zloty, it's around 413 euro per month, is raised to the level of the minimum wage, which is currently 4,242 zloty, around 983 euro gross per month. In January, when the Civic Initiative received its first rating in Parliament, Mr. Donald Tusk, the Polish Prime Minister, promised disabled people that will work hard and diligently to ensure that the government will work hard and diligently to ensure that the bill will be passed as soon as possible to meet the requirements of the disabled people and the caregivers. However, since then, this is something that Notes from Poland highlights. The legislation has not proceeded to a second reading with the Speaker of the Parliament, Mr. Szymon Hołownia, and the government's plenipotentiary for disabled people, Łukasz Kraszon, saying that it must be integrated with a bill put forward by the government itself. Mr. Kraszon came to speak to those protesting outside the parliament. He told them that before the bill can proceed further, final position on it still need to be submitted by the Finance Ministry and the Prime Minister Chancellery. It is estimated that 293,000 people receive the social pension. So also in this case, we wait update. We are waiting good updates and good news in the next future. And of course, I will report to you as soon we get it. And now we are shifting to the sport, because we have two good news about the Polish sport. The first one is related to Iga Świątek. Iga Świątek is the best tennis player at the moment in the world, who won the 19th title of her incredible career. Even more incredible considering how she's young, only 22 years old. Iga Świątek, who is the number one in the ranking WTA, triumphed at the Indian Wells tournament. In the final, she defeated the Greek tennis player Maria Sakkari 6-4, 6-0. Indian Wells is the sixth most important tournament of the season after the 4 Grand Slams and the Master Finals. With this victory, Iga Świątek put a period of slight tarnish behind her. Indeed, she impressed with the ease with which she imposed herself on her opponents. In the entire tournament, she didn't lose a single set. This result and also this performance is a good signal towards the beginning of the clay court season, and especially towards Iga Świątek's favorite tournament, the Roland Garros, the Paris tournament, where the Polish tennis player has already won 3 times. And the other good news is about football, Polish football, because Poland, the national team of Poland, beat Estonia in the first qualifying round of the 2023 European Championship. 5-1 the final result in a one-sided match. The scorers for Poland: Przemysław Frankowski at minute 22, Piotr Zieliński at minute 50, Jakub Piotrowski at minute 70, an own goal of Karol Metz, Estonian player, at minute 74, and the 5th goal was scored by Sebastian Szymanski at minute 76. The only goal for Estonia was scored by Martin Vetkal at minute 78. We have also to say that Estonia played with 10 men from the 27 minutes of the first half, after the player Maxim Pascozzi was sent off for double admonition. So now the fate of qualification will be decided in Cardiff on Tuesday, March 26, in the difficult match against Wales, which beat Finland 4-1. So on Tuesday we'll get know whether Poland will participate to the next European Championship. And now, concluding the first part of the broadcast, I want to let you with a song that I hope that will be of good auspicious.
Granicami, golo, golo,
This was Polska Gola, Polish gold. Auspicious is to have a good result in the next football match on a Tuesday for the Polish national team. This is again 1 week in Poland. This is the second part of 1 week in Poland, the broadcast which tells you what is going on in the country and also give you some insights and suggestions for the weekend and gives you some news about Warsaw, the capital city. So this is the second part. Indeed, I want to start with a news about Warsaw, because the city council has approved 56 million zloty, around 30 million, for pre-design work on a fourth metro line. This was said by the mayor, Rafał Trzaskowski, announcing that a contract will be signed next week. As you know, so far, Polish Warsaw metro line are 2, but there are still 3 in the project. The work for the third one is going to start soon, and now we are approaching also to the project for the fourth one. According to the current plans, the fourth metro line will be 26 kilometers long and will connect the neighborhood of Tarchomin in the north of the city with the southern district of Wilanów. The route will have 23 stations, and according to City Hall estimates, pre-design work should be completed by 2028. The statement made by the Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski is that modern and convenient public transport is an absolute priority for us, for Warsaw. During this term alone, we have put 11 metro stations into operation, and 3 more stations are currently under construction on the M2 second metro line. So as you probably know, in a couple of weeks, there will be the local elections in Poland and also in Warsaw. So Mr. Trzaskowski is referring to the period 2019-2024. This is the term is referring. He's also added that as well as now, City of Warsaw is approving funds for preliminary work on the fourth line. The city last week signed an agreement for design work on the third. As I said, City Hall plans to launch a tender for the pre-design work for the entire planned fourth metro line later this month. So we are waiting for this signature, and we are waiting to have a well-connected Warsaw, because public transportation is essential for the life in such a big city. And now I wanted to shift to some insights for the weekend. The first insight is about the return of one of the most important music hall in the world, return in Warsaw. I'm speaking about Jesus Christ Superstar, the cult rock opera by Andrew Lloyd Webber, that in the 70s shook the world of musical theater. For the people who don't know, this opera tells the story of the 7 last days of Jesus Christ on the earth. This opera was staged and directed in this version by Jakub Wojciał and Santiago Bello. I read on the presentation, it doesn't leave the viewer indifferent to what is happening on and off stage. There are some quotes from some newspapers. One is by Jakub Panek, journalist of Gazeta.pl. The masterful musical interpretation take you to another dimension, and the collective choreography is not just dance but an integral part of the story being told. And then another statement by Szymon Ludwiczak by szymonkulturze.pl. It says, all this gathered together is a meticulously woven wall, an intricate mosaic of emotions in which the talent and sensitivity of the performing artist are mixed. This production of Jesus Christ Superstar is a stage for a strictly limited number of performances in Warsaw at the Rampa Theater and in Kraków at the Kraków Varieté Theater. In Warsaw, you can watch it at the theater Rampa in ulica Kołowa 20. We have still 3 stages possible. One is today, maybe quite early, at 3 p.m. The next one will be staged tomorrow at time at 5 p.m., always at the Theater Rampa. And then on March 26 at 7 p.m., always Theater Rampa in ulica Kołowa. The duration of the show is 1 hour and 45 minutes without intermission. There is a note because that I read on the presentation is about the use of the incense at the beginning of the performance, the intense smell of which may be uncomfortable for people with breathing disorder. So I think this is quite an important highlight to give you. Another important highlight is that tickets are sold only through the website biletomat.pl and will not be sold at the box offices of the theater. The tickets cost 150 zloty. Then the next suggestion, next and last suggestion for the weekend is a concert of a group that personally I liked. I like so much. Tomorrow at Palladium, Club Palladium in ulica Złota 9, starting at 8 p.m. Pyjama Porno, a historical rock, ska, reggae band from Poznan will perform a concert. Pyjama Porno, if you don't know them, was founded in December 1987 in Poznan on the initiative of Krzysztof Grabowski and Andrzej Kozakiewicz. In 1989, they recorded their first material entitled Streets Like Stigmata. And then the band made its debut at the Jarocin Festival and the Sopot Festival. In their career, they recorded 8 albums. The first one is, as I said, Ulice jak Stigmata, Streets Like Stigmata, which was followed by Futurista, Zamiast burzy, instead of Storm, that is one of their most popular records. Then Złodzieje Zapalniczek, Thieves of Lighters, Styropian, Marchew w butonierce in 2001, which includes the hit Twoja generacja. The last studio album in 2004 was Bułgarskie Centrum. It was released 20 years ago. So if you don't know them, I want to conclude this episode of 1 Week in Poland with a song of Pyjama Porno. The song is Twoja generacja. I want to say thank you for listening 1 Week in Poland. I give you appointment to 7 days for the next episode. As usual, thank you to Michał for assisting me with the technical issue. So this is twoja generacja pijama porno.